We have Jason Herrick. Good morning, Jason. Good afternoon, Jason.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Well, I'm 65, so maybe that's why I can't remember whether it's morning or afternoon, but this is also an unusual shift for me, so please excuse me for that. How's the weather down there?
It's actually beautiful and sunny here in northern Southland today, and it's a balmy 12 degrees.
Nice. It's actually not too bad here, but Wellington's it's beautiful blue sky day, but it's quite chilly. It's got a sort of a heavy sort of a southerly sea breeze, or it feels like that. It may not be a southerly, but it's certainly got a chill to it.
Yeah, no, we've got a bit of a northerly flow here, so that sort of helps with the warmer temperatures.
Yeah. Now, Jason, just before we leap into the thorny issue of gravel, you guys start lambing down there in about 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, so calving starts in the next couple of weeks,
Yep.
and lambing generally later, sort of not till late August, early September.
Right.
They get going, so we're about a month and a bit away from lambing.
Yeah.
Generally when the largest snowfalls turn up.
Yeah. And scanning's looking okay?
Actually, scanning went really, really well this year,
Yep.
and getting good reports of high numbers again, which is good. It's second year in a row.
Awesome.
So, some real positive moods out there, which is really good.
And the price of lamb, because I've got a whole 13 lambs, a whole 13 sheep, so I'm an expert on this stuff. The price of lamb, I understand, is pretty high at the moment too.
Yes, it is. So, farmers are getting good reward for their meat produce. It's pity that the wool doesn't stack up, but it is what it is right now, and let's hope those prices hold into the next year.
Yeah, though I must say, Jason, I was quite taken aback. Well, not taken aback, but delighted. I just popped into a shop on my way to work this morning, and there was some beautiful wool products in there. And I can't remember the label because I'd never seen it before. And I just noticed there's a lot of high-end, very bespoke wool products out there. So people are really trying to do some stuff. And then there's those wool weed mats, which I've seen around the place too. They seem to have started to carry favour amongst gardeners. So there is some innovation happening.
Definitely there is, and I encourage a lot more people to dive into the wool products where they can, especially in housing and so forth, because it does have an anti-burn property, so it doesn't burn as well as nylons and synthetics do.
Yep.
And therefore it's got to have less risk on your house, right?
Yeah, it does. Now, Jason, are you a dairy farmer or a sheep and beef?
Dairy.
Cool. Oh, of course, Northern Southland. Yeah.
Very, very proud dairy farmer.
Well, Herrick's quite an old Southland name too. Are you originally from down there?
I am indeed. Our family originates from Oropuki to Otapiri area, and very strong.
Yep, I thought that was the case. No, so the thorny issue of gravel, you probably know my partner David Hayes, who was the former president for the Wairarapa, and him and I share a property in the Wairarapa which borders on a river. So from every flood we notice that the gravel changes in the river. It's always quite fascinating because we can't wait to get down to see what it's done this time. And I'm certainly noticing a bit more of a build-up in our river too. So, and we're at the sort of mid-reaches, I suppose, of the river. But what's the burning concerns at the moment around gravel, and what we've seen just recently in Tasman? Is that being replicated around the country?
It definitely is, and gravel's becoming a real contentious issue, and no matter who you speak to, like I've spoken to a lot of fishermen, farmers, people that have been living on the rivers for many, many years, have all said to me that the gravel build-up is just astronomical, and it's making harder for fishermen to actually fish in the lower reaches. It's making harder to get access. And there's a lot of gravel build-up underneath the bridges now, and growing up in Southland, and from my childhood memories, there's some bridges around that, got good memories of piles and stuff sticking out of the water, and you can't even see those piles anymore. And
Wow.
One bridge in particular, you used to be able to drive a 20-ton digger under it, and now you can stand on the riverbed and touch it.
And
So,
which one's that one?
That's the Mossburn Bridge up
weird.
in northern Southland.
Yep.
On the Herrick.
Yep.
It's a very clear picture to me that the gravel needs to be removed.
So that's the thing I sort of wonder about is if we get to that point now where this government has some common sense and tries to pull back some of that rivers wander at will type legislation that's been in place, which has allowed this to happen, how easy is it going to be to wind back some of that and actually get some more common sense into how we manage these rivers?
that's going to be the trouble is winding this back, because it's been let to go on for so long. And now we're in a pinch point now. If we had rainfalls of the 1978, 1984 floods that we had down here, I think it'll be devastating for all of Southland, like we've just seen in the Tasman region, right? So, because the gravel has been neglected for so long, I think we've got a long road ahead of us, and it's going to take a long time to rectify that.
And it also has a flow-on effect, because in the Wairarapa we have to go other places to get gravel, which strikes me as being really stupid.
Oh, like seriously, and I've seen roading projects in Southland where they've carted the gravel 120 k's.
Wow.
From a gravel pit in the middle of a paddock somewhere, rather than going right to the nearest source, which is the river right next door to the road. And
wow.
it just doesn't make sense to me. And some of the cost of our roading has to be tied up in that.
Yeah, you'd have to think that, and it is. It's just a ridiculous anomaly. It's worse in the Wairarapa, because often they have to go over the Rumatakas. So if you actually build into the impact of climate change from the emissions of actually getting it from point A to point B, I would suggest that probably the problem would be more the transporting of gravel over long distances than gravel in the rivers building up.
Yeah, and it's only the transports that win at the end of the day, isn't it? And rather than doing what is the most sensible approach.
Yeah. So are you making any submissions to this current administration on what you would like to see around the gravel regulations?
Absolutely. Every chance we get a submission in, and we are beating this drum continuously every time we meet with the council, every time we engage with councillors and so on. And with the upcoming elections this year, it's going to be an election point for a lot of anybody standing for council. So, it has been on the tip of everybody's tongue down here for a very long time, and obviously from around the country. And unless the council starts listening to the locals who have been around for many years and dive into their experiences and their knowledge, we're going to keep beating the same drum, which is unsustainable going forward. So if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Now you also talked about the fact that fishermen can't fish on some of these rivers because the gravel banks are starting to make it harder for them to get to. Now you've never had a hell of a great relationship with Fish and Game down there, but almost you would have a common ground here.